Charles Purcell presents.
That's me, Charles Purcell, and right along with me here in the studio, we'll start off, as we often do, with Uncle Chuck. Good to see you, Uncle Chuck.
Very happy, as always, to be here with you.
Well, always happy to have you, Uncle Chuck. What's on your mind this week?
There's a problem that it needs addressing, but isn't there always, right? There's always some sort of a problem.
Sure,
and, the buttons on my pants. I have a button fly.
Yeah, those button flies.
And I'm a big fan of the button fly because the zipper down there, I don't know how the zipper's so popular because it seems like a dangerous area of the body to have a zipper.
Yeah, they are popular, though.
And I don't mean to make jokes and make light of it because I think that's the sort of thing that stand-up comedians have already, they've exhausted that material, the zipper in the dangerous area.
Oh, sure. A lot of jokes from stand-up
I
comedians.
imagine. And I'm no stand-up comedian. I have a great respect for stand-up comedians.
Oh, me too.
I think what they do is kind of magical. It's like a magic trick.
Yeah.
How they make us laugh, and good for them. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I love a good stand-up.
There's something, though, about comedy. Sometimes it's not aimed properly.
Yeah.
Most stand-up comedians are pretty good. Some of them fall short once in a while, but that's all right. You got to give people a little leeway, especially when, they're doing it for a living and they're experts. That's their job. I don't tell when the plumber comes over, for gosh sakes, to fix the toilet, I don't stand over him and criticize his work and tell him which wrench to use. Gosh, no, I just usually find something else to do, or more often than not, I'll find some excuse to leave and go run an errand because
I do that too.
I'm one of these fellas kind of uncomfortable
Yeah.
standing around while someone else is doing the work.
I understand that. I think I'm the same way.
Maybe it's some I've been acculturated gender-wise, that I don't feel comfortable watching another man do work that I should be doing. And I guess I figure, because the way I was raised, my dad always fixed, did all the plumbing.
Yeah, my dad did that too.
If the toilet went, haywire,
right.
Well, he'd fix it because he was of that generation. And now I'm this modern fella, even though I'm older now myself, but still, I'm of a generation where we call the guy, we call the guy.
Call the guy.
And I feel a little emasculated to stand around watching another man do work in my house.
I can understand that.
But I'll get back to the point.
Okay.
I don't tell the plumber what to do, and I don't typically tell a comedian how to do his job. They're the experts. They're very good at it. But humor's a tricky thing because in this day and age especially, you can be so you can be offended.
Triggered.
You can say the wrong thing, and it can be very inappropriate.
Yeah.
And I'm always very conscious of the fact that I'm not of any of the LGBTQ plus persuasions. I'm
right.
I'm the straight hetero cis male.
Me too.
And so I'm very careful not to weigh in or try to be funny. Especially in these days when you can be offensive, and the whole politically correct thing, I'm okay with that. It's just being decent to each other.
I agree.
I don't think we're necessarily overly politically correct.
Yeah.
You listen to this Jordan Peterson character.
Oh, right. Jordan Peterson, the
and I won't get all into
professor from
his thing.
the Canadian guy.
Maybe we'll talk about him someday in the future. I don't feel qualified really to talk about Jordan Peterson, but I bring him up because he's very critical of the whole
the PC thing,
politically correct
movement,
and of course he uses that term as an epithet.
Right, very critical, very critical,
a critical term.
Right.
So, right. But the point I'm making is comedians and humor
Yeah.
Well, they walk a fine line, and I tip my hat to them. For gosh sakes, they're doing what they can. They're making us laugh, and it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I admire them greatly. I'd love to be able to do that and make people laugh.
Well, you're a pretty funny guy, Uncle Chuck.
Sometimes I can be a funny guy at parties, or in the right in the right social situation, if I'm comfortable with the people I'm with, and I can get off a line or two occasionally. But boy, to stand up there and do a whole act, 5 or 10 minutes, or in the case of when they're out in concert, they'll do a whole hour or more.
That's a real skill.
That's very impressive, I would say.
I agree. Yeah.
But speaking of humor, and this is a little pet peeve of mine.
Oh, okay, here we go. Uncle Chuck's pet peeve.
We all have our pet peeves. And I just admitted the fact I'm not really a funny guy necessarily.
Well, you do all right.
Again, in the right situation. But
so what's your pet peeve?
I think my pet peeve that I want to talk about a little bit here is the people who try to be funny. Oh goodness, and they're not.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
And yet somehow they think that they are. And there are people. Radio hosts sometimes.
Right.
They'll think they're comedians. Well, if they were comedians, they'd be up on the stage. No, they're just kind of yakking between the songs they play, and they think they're reeling off these great one-liners.
Well, sometimes they're funny.
More often than not, they're not at all. So, people try to be funny. Some politicians, you'll notice in their speeches, they'll try to get off a little humor, and oh boy, when they fail, they really fail.
Yeah.
You can find lots of examples of this.
George Bush was famous for that.
Newscasters, broadcasters. Give me the news when you're yucking it up with the weather lady and the sports guy. Boy, you're just not funny, are you? More often than not, they're pretty bad. So
yeah, I hear you.
I guess I'm just going to try to encourage you, and as I do always, encourage all of us to have a little more self-awareness. I try to be self-aware. I'm aware of my own limitations, for gosh sakes.
Well, yeah, that's good.
And I come to talk to you without any great promises of, I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm a font of wisdom.
Oh, don't sell yourself short there, Uncle Chuck.
Gosh, no, by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not trying to tell you that. I just have thoughts, and Charles Purcell invites me onto the show here to talk to you.
That's right, I do.
And I guess he figures sometimes maybe I might be worth listening to just for a couple of minutes at a time, at least. I might have something worthwhile, an observation or some opinions that might be worthwhile. And I guess that's the bottom line today is I'm going to ask you, if you're not funny,
right?
If you're along with your friends there and you're all laughing together, well, that's just wonderful. I've got nothing but
that's great.
Good thoughts and for you there. It's great. Go ahead. Sure. Everybody's having a good time, but every once in a while, just occasionally, you wanna step back from yourself and observe a little bit, have some self-awareness. And if be honest with yourself and really look at other people's reactions. Maybe they're sort of cringing when you tell what you think is a funny story.
Okay. I hear you.
Maybe they're laughing out of pity or of discomfort. There are lots of different laughters. And just with a little self-awareness, you can over a little bit of time get to learn that, they're not really laughing at my joke. They're kind of giving me a pity laugh,
I've done that.
I've made them uncomfortable because I've said something, misogynistic or racist or something, and now it's an uncomfortable laugh because so many of us, most of us probably these days, it's a shame, are too embarrassed to call our friends out when we say
that's hard to do.
Sexist or racist or insensitive things. Again, I've got no problem with political correctness. It's I don't think it should be used as a dirty word at all. It's just a way of being kind in the world and taking other people's feelings into consideration.
No, I agree.
So if you're not a funny guy, leave it to the professionals.
Okay.
And if you do, sure, we all have crack jokes with our friends, and that's great. But again, a little self-awareness goes a long way, and I think it'll make you a better person. It'll make the world a little bit better, and gosh almighty, isn't that what it's all about?
That's right.
We all just want to make the world just a little better. So
that's right, Uncle Chuck.
So next time you need something in your house fixed, call the guy.
Call the guy.
If you can't do it yourself.
Call the guy.
And, get out of his hair while he does the work.
All right.
Or he or she. See, there again.
Oh, yeah, there
I
you
fall
are.
into the he. I'm an older fella, and I got to be called out on my misogynism and sexism and racism. But
Yeah,
gosh,
we all do.
Again, self-aware. I'm trying to be self-aware. I'm trying to be a better person every day, and I just hope I want to encourage you to do the same, and we'll all fail more than we succeed. But gosh almighty, at least we're trying, right? All right, I sure love talking to you. When
I love talking to you too.
I want you to have a real great day, and I want you to live life to the fullest.
All right,
and be aware of your surroundings and the reaction that people are giving you, and be aware of your own behavior in the world. And I think, gosh, if we did that, we're off to a good start.
Good.
So have a wonderful day.
All right, good talking to you, Uncle Chuck. Thanks a lot.
And I'll talk to you again real soon.
Words of wisdom from Uncle Chuck.
What do you think is so funny? I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand at all what's happening right now in the world. You think you can laugh at this? Sure. Yeah, my pants fell down around my ankles. And there's a bird on my head pecking at my hair. And there's a dog sniffing my butt. And sure, this might look funny to you. But you ever think to look at it from my angle? I don't understand people who laugh at other people's pain. Okay? Like the blooper shows, right? The America's Funniest Video thing. People are falling down off ladders off of second stories and they're crushing their spines and everything. That's so funny. How is that funny? You're crazy to get your jollies laughing at other people's pain. That is the lowest form of humor. You suck so bad. What do you got going? You can laugh at me. See, that's probably it. You got nothing going for you. You fell off your own ladder, so to speak. You know, everybody's got their own ladder they fall off. I'm being metaphorical here, using the ladder as an analogy. Maybe you got your troubles, right? I think that's it. To look at this psychologically a little bit. You got your troubles. Oh, everybody got their troubles. I got fired from my job or something. Whatever's gonna do. Or your old lady's no good to you. So this guy's gonna chop a tree and it goes the wrong way and it lands and crushes his house. And you go, ain't that funny? But in the long run, big fish eating the little fish or whatever. I get a hard time, so you get a hard time. Big brother beats me up, so I beat up the little brother. Okay, you said this justifies things? It makes everything okay? No, it just makes for a mean and crummy world. So no, I'm not gonna don't laugh at me because a bird's crapping on my head. And a dog is sniffing my butt and my pants are around my ankles because my suspenders broke because lightning came down and struck them. And, I got my troubles. Sure I do. How is this entertainment for you? How is this funny? Because you got your own troubles. This is a psychological issue for you, guy. You got to understand this. You're nutty. You're half crazed. You're nutty, and so am I, and so are all of us. And God bless everybody.
Secrets we all know to keep them under wraps, but they're the glue that sees us through. They bridge generation gaps. With brother, sister, mom, and dad, choose your words carefully. Don't hurt their feelings unless, of course, you do it intentionally. Don't tell your husband the real amount of money in the family bank account. You'll be amazed what you could save in a year. If it was up to him, he'd spend it all on beer. Cheating on your wife is normal. Everybody does it. Why be so formal? Tell her that you're working late. She'll think you're ambitious. You'll both feel great. The biggest lie of all is the one your parents told you in their efforts to control you. It's the biggest lie of all. care about you and provide a shoulder you can cry on. On TV and the internet, we're one big happy family. The human race in cyberspace, we're a real community. When a talking head spouts an axiom about our death or tax, he understands our inability to challenge the validity of premises that may be wrong because we've heard them for so long. Where's our youthful willingness to roll our eyes and yell BS? The biggest lie of all comes in stereo perfection to enhance our own reflection. It's the biggest lie of all. Our government is truly of and by and for the people. There's no class system to be found. What you sow is what you'll reap. Elections, there's our chance to change the world. We're given many choices. The media will help make up our mind with diverse and thoughtful voices. Don't try to organize or fight. Just join the club, shift to the right. You can't make any lasting change until you learn to rearrange your old outdated paradigm. You gotta blame the victim for the crime. Suck it up, you just need more nerve. In a democracy, you get what you deserve. The biggest lie of all is the one that lives inside. 'Cause we've heard it all our lives. It's the biggest lie of all. The truth they say will set you free, but lies can make you money. This American dream, it's a two-part scheme. Hey, something here is funny. So if the truth is out of fashion, don't let that nullify your passion. Shout it out for the world to hear. Others may join and make it clear. The time has come to take off the gloves, 'cause power is as power does. Cynics will say give up, we're caught. But if you believe that, then you just bought the biggest lie of all.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Hey, it's Chucky Bucky. Chucky Bucky here with you. Okay, everything's great this week. I'm having the nicest time I've ever had, I think, on the whole. You know, it's the greatest time of the year. I'm not sure what time you're listening. You could be listening to this anytime. I don't know, because, you know, the show's out there online and people listen different times. But while I'm recording this, while I'm speaking, it's the fall, it's the autumn. And we all love the autumn. We just had the harvest moon. And it was full moon, harvest moon, new moon. I don't know what you call it, but it was real beautiful and all that. And did I just say beautiful? That's funny because sometimes you say a word, it just doesn't come out right. I don't say beautiful. That's not. People say I have an accent. I don't know. I don't hear it, but I say beautiful, right? Beautiful. The duh is like the upside down E. You remember you learned in grade school how to the way the dictionary spells out the stuff, how you pronounce it. What's the upside down E called? I used to know that in school. I don't remember anymore. But beautiful, the second syllable, beautiful. It's just the upside down E means just beautiful. And I said beautiful for some reason. That's funny how some things will come out like that, just for no reason at all. It's funny when you're looking for reasons, but you don't find them. What do you think? You think there's a reason for everything, or can something just happen? I happen to think I'm kind of a person who believes just like most things, there's no reason. There's just chance. There's just weird chance for most things. But, I'm conflicted, though, because I'm also a person who believes that we're the product of our environment, right? I'm kind of a Marxist in that way. And don't get all crazy about, Marxist, like I'm a Lenin and going to go kill people or something. No. just philosophical Marxism, if you know anything about that. It basically just says, and I'm no expert or nothing. Don't think I'm believing I'm some sort of expert is going to teach you things. That's not my game at all, buddy. No. Yeah, I know my limitations, believe me. But basic philosophical Marxism says that you're a product of your environment. The world impacts who you are, and then you change based on the conflict, and then you in turn change the world back. That's the dialectic they talk about, the back and the forth. You affect the world affects you, and some people want to just have, everybody's got their own philosophy. Not that one's right and one's wrong. Well, I think I'm right. I think I'm right about this. Some people want to just put all their eggs into one side of that spectrum, right? There's a little mixed metaphor, eggs in a basket to finish that metaphor. They'll say, oh no, it's all just individual. It's all just you. It's all just what you believe and how you act, and you have complete control, and your thoughts will change the world, right? Oh, yeah, those people. There's lots of them out there. You see them every day on your Facebook feed giving you all the little wise advice and stuff, right? Oh, your thoughts. You have all the control. You have all the power in your own thoughts, and you create the world around you with your own attitude and thoughts and stuff. And oh, yeah, it's a beautiful idea, but it's so stupid and bogus that to think that's the only thing, because that's only one end of the spectrum. The world is a whole, reality itself is a whole spectrum, because the other end of that spectrum is then everything in the world, every person who's ever lived and everything that's living now, and all the social structures, at work and economy and culture and art and music and politics, and everything in the world has an effect on you. You think it doesn't impact how you think and when the things you believe? How can you be so? To me, that's just stupid. That's just dumb to believe that all of that has no impact on you, that you just have total control of your own thoughts. Well, of course you don't. It's always a give and a take, and that's why, that's philosophical Marxism makes a lot more sense. He got that from, it didn't originate with him. He kind of got that part of his philosophy from Hegel, the German philosopher, Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. I don't know, I had him in school once, and I learned, and I always remembered all those names. Some things you remember, right? Like kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Remember that? That's the order, of course, of how they categorize biology. Kingdom is the largest, like the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. And then you go subset down from there. So in order, it was kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and then at the bottom is species. See, I remember that. It's like the every good boy does fine. EGBDF, those are the lines on the musical scale. And I'm not even a very smart person at all. And I'm the first to admit I'm not the very smart person. But, those little things you remember. Anyway, yeah, so the people who think they just who tell you, oh, you have all the power, that's just so dumb and stupid and only looking at one little part of what reality really is. And then there's the other people who say, well, you have no control at all, that society shapes you into what you are. Well, that's true if you give into it, but you do have some power. So I'm going to say one end and one is right and one end is wrong. No, I'm not. I'm also not, don't get confused though, because I'm also not saying that the truth is in the middle. Oh, I hate when people say that. That's also really dopey and dumb. Well, all I'm saying is it's a spectrum, and some people will fall more on one end and some people fall more on the other end, depending on their innate abilities. Maybe if you're born and you're just kind of a dope, you didn't get the lottery at birth, and then you are just going to be controlled by everybody else, and you have very little power just because you're a big dope, depending on how you were born or what kind of situation you were born into. And then some other person might just get lucky, and they're born with lots of brains and lots of heart and with lots of advantages in the world, and they can get themselves educated, and then they do have a lot of power to shape their lives. But even whichever end of the spectrum you're on or in the middle, it's always a give and take. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but there's always
a give and take. Now, I'm not sure I forgot now what I originally was talking about. And but, that's not so important so much at all. It doesn't really matter where you've been. It's where you're going. No, I'm sorry. I was just making a joke. That's just another one of those dang little things you put in a meme. It doesn't mean nothing. But you can make something mean something. Speaking of meaning in memes, everything happens for a reason. There's another one. Holy gosh, that's a dopey thing to believe. Everything happens for a reason. They got it kind of exactly backwards right there. If something happens to you, if your dog dies or you get in a car accident or whatever it is, or you break a nail, whatever it is, it didn't happen for any dang reason. That's dopey kind of magical thinking that doesn't serve anybody at all. Now, here's where you can make it valuable, though. You can say, well, all right, well, I broke that nail, so I don't know. That's a tough example. I'm trying to think of an example right now where something happens to you, and say somebody's really bad to you. You have a love interest or a partner who treats you bad, and you wind up breaking up. Okay, well, your friend is going to say, oh, it happened for a reason. Everyone's here to teach you a lesson. Oh, and again, to have the idea that it's like predetermined by some sort of magical sky god or something, that's so goofy and stupid. But here's the thing. You can take that experience and you can certainly learn from it. And then, well, in a certain sense, yeah, it happened for a reason. But you're putting the cart before the horse if you say the reason was first and then that person came to fulfill that reason. Now you're into the magic kind of goofy fairy tale thinking. The reason comes afterwards, and it all depends on how you respond and what other factors in the world have an impact on you at that time. So maybe you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend at the same time. You got a great new job, and then but then you had to move for the new job, and that also caused lots of stress. There's 100 things happening to you, and then you break a nail, and it seems like a small thing, but again, every little thing has this little impact. So back to the Marxist philosophy thing, everything has an impact on you, and then you have the response. It's the give and the take. There's always the give and the take. So I want you to remember that, and I guess I've stumbled onto something there that we can say, all right, well, that's what today's talk was about. So just bottom line, don't ever use that excuse, oh, it doesn't matter. Everything matters. There's a little, what you call it, catch-22 or oxymoron or something like that. It's I'm not sure what the terminology is, but everything matters and nothing matters all at the same time. Because, yeah, everything matters, but you don't want to take it so god dang seriously that, you make yourself nutty and you can't enjoy life. So you got to enjoy life, but, try to know what's going on and yeah, everything happens for a reason, but you make that reason happen, and there's no guarantee of what it's going to be. So just, don't believe all the stupid memes you read just because it looks nice and they got a pretty picture of a horizon and a sunset or something. People are so dopey, but that's okay. Everybody does what they need to do to get by, and I guess I can understand that. So there you go. I think I'll just leave it at that for now and, let you chew on that for a while. So I'm always, really glad to be here and good to talk to you and keep those cards and letters coming, all right? This is Chucky Bucky right here.
All right, there it is. Thank you, Chucky Bucky, and thank you for listening. Thanks to Uncle Chuck for being in the studio. Commentary from Charlie No Socks today, and a song by our own musical director, Peter Donalds. That was The Biggest Lie. Find this and every episode and more at the website, charlespurcell.com. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Listen and subscribe at Apple Podcasts or your favorite platform. Search Charles Purcell Presents.